Hello, my name is Dr. Carolyn T. Long, and I am a therapist, a minister, an author, and a consultant. And I want to talk to you today on the subject of premarital counseling for African Americans. Did you know that African Americans have the lowest marriage rate of any ethnic group? They also have the highest divorce rate. They have the lowest remarriage rate, but in the case of remarriage, they also have the highest redivorce rate. 2/3, or 66% of all first-time African American marriages end in divorce, and 2 out of 3 children experience the divorce of their parents by age 16. While we know that stepfamilies are more difficult and break up more often, we do not know the failure rate for African Americans as compared to the general population. The failure rate, however, for the general population for second marriages is approximately 64%. That is almost the first-time divorce rate for African American families. I might add that this first-time divorce rate that I've just talked about, the 66%, that is for legal divorces. And it does not include marriages that end by what is called the poor man's divorce, or desertion, or abandonment, or terminal separation, because we don't know what those figures are. There certainly have been some African American writers to suggest that they believe that that non-legal divorce rate is as high as the legal divorce rate. Yet again, we do not know those to be truths. Another statistical fact, however, quoting Blankenshorn and Roberts, is that since 1940, the percentage of black children born to unmarried men and women has gone from 17 to 70%. So that means that when every single one of those moms and dads get married, they will be creating a blended or step family. What that says is that there is more of a need for premarital counseling for those who will create a blended family than for those who are starting off with a nuclear family. These couples start off with a 60+% chance that they will fail, and that's very disturbing. Blended or step families are created when a person with children remarries following a divorce, but also when a person with children marries for a first time, thereby causing their spouse to become a step parent. With the large number of children born to unmarried men and women, it also means that when a couple marries, he or she may have parented a child by one or by several other men or women, thereby complicating the family unit and making it even more difficult for them to be successful in their marriage. We hear the term baby mama, in quotation, or baby daddy, and in many cases, these turn out not to be so positive, because what we hear behind baby mama and baby daddy is the word drama. This drama from a child's other parent can create much havoc and cause this new marriage to actually fail. Now, when I say preparation, I'm speaking of premarital education and counseling for those who are getting married, again, for a first time or a subsequent time in which they are creating a blended or a step family. The key words here are blended or step family. Because of my concern for the lack of success for African American step families and for step families in general, I have written a book titled Stepping and Blending: helping African Americans prepare for marriage, remarriage, and stepfamily life. The book deals with two issues. It deals with, number one, the recovery process that one must go through when they have been through a divorce or in a failed relationship. And number two, receiving the information and counsel that is preparation for the marriage to take place. Stepping and Blending, second edition, which was published in the summer of 2010, is a culturally sensitive, biblically sound, educational, and counseling tool designed to help African Americans prepare for marriage. It is a groundbreaking book and can help pastors and church leaders to help prepare these couples for their family ahead. It can also help pastors begin a stepping and blending movement in their church if they wish to do so. It's a book that can be used by individuals, by couples, as a self-study, by pastors, church leaders, professionals. It can be used in colleges, universities, seminaries, and Bible schools that prepare ministers. But it can also be used in a family life ministry, in a marriage ministry, in a singles ministry of your church. But above and beyond that, these materials can be used in wherever African Americans gather. And we know we love to gather in the barbershop, we love to gather in the beauty salon, at the community center. It can be used in those places as well. The concern is that the message needs to be out there, that God said, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." And what I recognize is that marriages, especially stepfamily marriages, are being destroyed every day because couples come into the marriage without adequate grieving from their previous relationship and adequate preparation for the future relationship. The book itself is two books in one. The first book deals with the grieving process. It is a book and workbook. And the second book deals with preparation for marriage. I want to add here that the book also is equipped with 3 appendices. And one of the appendix deals with the theology of remarriage or divorce and remarriage. I do not deal with that issue because it has been adequately dealt with by many others, but I do give an annotated bibliography such that the individual can do their research for themselves and can decide for themselves with the help of the Holy Spirit if remarriage is allowed for them if they are coming out of a divorce. There are a lot of helpful practical information, not just for African Americans, because the information that deals with the grieving process, the information that deals with preparation for marriage is applicable to all ethnic groups. What is different about this book is that it does have information specifically related to the African American culture and African American family values. But other than that, the book is applicable to all. Thank you for listening. And if you would like more information, pay attention to the information that is scrolling on the screen. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this video. If this is a subject that interests you, either as an individual, as a pastor, or as a church leader, the information is available to you. Thanks again for listening.